Number 5 Ways to Become a Millionaire Before 30. What if I told you that becoming a millionaire before the age of 30 has almost nothing to do with winning the lottery, being born into a wealthy family, or discovering some secret investment nobody else knows about? The truth is far less exciting, but much more powerful. Most young people will spend their 20s trying to look successful. They will finance expensive cars, upgrade their phones every year, buy clothes to impress strangers, and spend almost everything they earn. A much smaller group will use those same years to build skills, purchase assets, create businesses, and quietly increase their net worth. 10 years later, the difference between those two groups can be enormous. One group may look rich on social media but have almost nothing invested. The other group may live a relatively normal life while owning businesses, investments, intellectual property, real estate, or other assets that continue producing money. In this video, you will discover 5 realistic paths that can dramatically increase your chances of becoming a millionaire before 30. None of these methods guarantees success. Anyone promising guaranteed wealth is probably trying to sell you something. But these strategies are based on principles that have created wealth for entrepreneurs, investors, freelancers, creators, professionals, and ordinary people around the world. And pay close attention to the 5th method, because it connects all the others. Without it, even a high income can disappear faster than you earned it. Before we begin, understand one important distinction. Being a millionaire does not necessarily mean having $1 million sitting in your bank account. It usually means having a net worth of at least $1 million. Your net worth is the value of everything you own minus everything you owe. If you own a business worth $600,000, investments worth $300,000, and cash or other assets worth $200,000, while owing $100,000, your net worth is $1 million. That difference matters because wealthy people rarely keep all their money in cash. They own things. They own companies, shares, property, brands, systems, products, patents, royalties, and investments. The game is not simply to earn $1 million. The game is to own assets worth $1 million. Hashtag way number 1, build a high-income skill. Imagine two 20-year-olds starting their adult lives. The first person looks for any job that will pay the bills. They accept the first opportunity available and never seriously improve their professional abilities. The second person chooses a valuable skill and spends the next 3 years becoming exceptionally good at it. At the beginning, their lives may look almost identical. They may earn similar salaries, live in similar apartments, and have similar amounts of money. But by age 25, the difference can become dramatic. The first person may still be earning close to the same amount. The second person may be consulting, freelancing, negotiating better salaries, serving international clients, creating a business, or charging several times more for the same number of working hours. This is why your first major objective should not necessarily be to save every possible dollar. Your first objective should be to increase the value of your time. There is a limit to how much you can save when your income is low. But your income can potentially increase many times over when you develop a skill that solves expensive problems. A high-income skill is not simply something difficult. It is something valuable to people or organizations that have money and are willing to pay for results. Examples can include software development, cybersecurity, sales, copywriting, video editing, digital marketing, financial analysis, engineering, artificial intelligence implementation, data analysis, consulting, design, project management, and specialized technical work. The exact skill is less important than the problem it solves. Businesses do not usually pay people because they worked hard. They pay people because their work helped generate revenue, reduce costs, save time, prevent losses, attract customers, improve efficiency, or solve a serious problem. This is the first mental shift. Stop asking, what job can I get? Start asking, what valuable problem can I become excellent at solving? But here is where most people make a mistake. They try to learn 5 different skills at the same time. They watch videos about programming on Monday, digital marketing on Tuesday, real estate on Wednesday, trading on Thursday, and starting an online business on Friday. After 6 months, they have consumed hundreds of hours of content but cannot perform any skill at a professional level. Knowledge without application creates the illusion of progress. Real progress comes from focused practice. Choose one skill. Study it. Practice it. Create projects. Get feedback. Produce evidence that you can deliver results. Then find people who need that result. For example, imagine that you choose video editing. Watching tutorials is not enough. You need to edit actual videos. Create short videos, long videos, advertisements, documentaries, social media clips, and YouTube content. Study pacing, storytelling, music, color, sound design, audience retention, and visual psychology. Create a portfolio. Offer to edit a few videos for smaller creators or businesses. Collect testimonials. Measure results. Then improve your offer. Instead of saying, "I edit videos," you might eventually say, "I help educational YouTube channels turn long recordings into high retention videos designed to keep viewers watching." That is more specific. Specificity makes your value easier to understand. The same principle applies to almost every profession. Do not simply become a general writer. Become a writer who understands a profitable industry. Do not simply learn sales. Learn how to sell a specific type of service or product. Do not simply become a programmer. Learn how to build systems that solve a particular business problem. Specialization can make you easier to hire, easier to recommend, and easier to trust. Now comes the second stage. Once you become valuable, stop relying on only one buyer for your skill. If your employer is the only person who can purchase your time, your income may remain limited. Look for additional ways to monetize the same ability. You might freelance after work, consult, teach beginners, create templates, sell digital products, build a small agency, or develop a software tool. One skill can produce several income streams. A graphic designer might earn a salary, take freelance projects, sell templates, create a course, and license artwork. A programmer might have a job, build small applications, offer consulting, and eventually create a software subscription. A salesperson might earn commissions, train teams, and later launch a sales agency. This is how a skill becomes more than a job. It becomes an economic engine. But do not immediately quit your job because you earned money online for 1 month. Build stability before making dramatic decisions. A job can finance your education, living expenses, investments, and business experiments. The goal is not to reject employment. The goal is to avoid depending forever on one source of income. Your 20s can be one of the best periods for taking calculated professional risks because you may have fewer responsibilities than you will later in life. Use that advantage intelligently. Work harder than average for a period, but do not destroy your health or relationships. The goal is not endless exhaustion. The goal is accelerated learning. A person who develops a rare and valuable skill by 23 has several years to turn that skill into income, assets, and opportunities. And that leads to the second way to become a millionaire before 30. Because earning a high income is powerful, but ownership is where wealth can begin to multiply. Hashtag way number 2, build your own scalable business. If you exchange 1 hour for a fixed amount of money, your income is limited by time. Even if you earn a high hourly rate, there are only 24 hours in a day. A scalable business changes that equation. A scalable business can serve more customers without requiring your time to increase at exactly the same rate. Think about the difference between a private tutor and an online education company. A private tutor may teach one student at a time. An education company can sell a course, software platform, membership, book, template, or training system to thousands of people. That does not mean building a business is easy. It means the upside can be much greater. Many young people hear the word business and imagine needing a large office, dozens of employees, expensive equipment, and massive startup capital. But some businesses can begin with a computer, a skill, and direct communication with potential customers. A service business is often one of the simplest places to start. You identify a problem. You offer to solve it. You charge for the result. You deliver the work. You improve the process. Then you repeat it. A video editor can become an editing agency. A cleaner can build a cleaning company. A web designer can build a development studio. A fitness coach can build an online coaching system. A photographer can build a content production business. A bookkeeper can create a financial administration service for small companies. The first version does not need to be revolutionary. It needs to solve a real problem for a specific customer. This is where people become distracted by logos, business cards, websites, office decorations, and complicated plans. Those things may eventually matter. But the first question is much simpler. Will anyone pay for what you are offering? A business does not begin when you create an Instagram page. It begins when a customer gives you money in exchange for value. The fastest way to test an idea is usually to speak directly with potential customers. Ask what problems they have. Listen to the language they use. Understand what they have already tried. Find out what the problem costs them in money, stress, time, or missed opportunities. Then create an offer that connects the problem to a clear result. Suppose you notice that local restaurants have poor social media content. You could offer a monthly package that includes short videos, photographs, captions, posting schedules, and performance reporting. But do not simply say, "I manage social media." Explain the outcome. You might say, "I help local restaurants publish consistent short-form content that attracts more attention to their weekly promotions." The promise must be realistic, but it must also be clear. Here is the surprising part. You do not need thousands of customers to build a meaningful business. Sometimes you need a small number of good customers paying a reasonable monthly amount. 10 clients paying $1,000 per month create $10,000 in monthly revenue. 20 clients paying $500 per month also create $10,000 in monthly revenue. Revenue is not profit, of course. You still have expenses, taxes, contractors, software, equipment, and other costs. But this simple calculation shows why solving valuable problems matters more than chasing a massive audience. A small business serving a specific niche can become highly profitable. After finding a service people will buy, your next objective is to create systems. Document every repeated task. How do you find potential customers? How do you contact them? How do you make an offer? How do you onboard them? How do you deliver the service? How do you collect payment? How do you request feedback? How do you keep customers satisfied? When those processes exist only inside your head, the business depends completely on you. When they are documented, parts of the work can be automated, delegated, or improved. This is the moment when self-employment can begin turning into a real business. At first, you may do everything yourself. That is normal. You might be the salesperson, customer service representative, accountant, editor, project manager, and delivery team. But if the business grows, your job must eventually change. Instead of doing every task, you begin designing the system that produces the result. That transition is difficult. Many founders struggle to delegate because they believe nobody can perform the work as well as they can. Sometimes they are correct. But if every decision requires the founder, the company cannot grow beyond the founder's personal capacity. You need quality controls, clear instructions, training, communication, and accountability. You may hire contractors before full-time employees. You may automate administrative work. You may use software to track projects, payments, customer communication, and deadlines. Every hour removed from repetitive low-value work can be invested in sales, strategy, product improvement, or customer relationships. Now consider the next level. A service business can produce strong cash flow, but a product can create greater scalability. A product might be physical, digital, or software-based. Digital products include courses, templates, design assets, memberships, guides, tools, databases, and paid communities. Software businesses can charge customers monthly for access to a useful system. Media businesses can earn through advertising, sponsorships, products, memberships, licensing, or services. The opportunity is not to create random products. The opportunity is to turn repeated customer problems into repeatable solutions. Imagine that you run a marketing agency and notice that every client needs a similar reporting dashboard. You could continue building it manually for each client. Or you could create a standardized template. Later, that template might become a digital product. Eventually, it could become software. The service teaches you what customers need. The product allows you to serve more people. This is why starting with a service can be so educational. You get paid to study the market. You hear customer objections. You see where they become confused. You discover which results they value. You learn what they are willing to purchase. But there is another reason business ownership can create millionaire-level net worth. A profitable business itself may become a valuable asset. A company with reliable revenue, healthy profit, documented systems, recurring customers, low dependence on the founder, and room for growth may be worth significantly more than the cash sitting in its bank account. You might never sell it. But ownership creates options. You can continue receiving profits. You can bring in partners. You can reinvest in growth. You can potentially sell part or all of the company. This is why many millionaires do not become wealthy because of salary alone. They own equity. They own a percentage of something valuable. And that brings us to the third way. Because even if you build a profitable business, you should not keep all your wealth trapped inside a single company. You need a system for converting active income into long-term assets. Hashtag way number 3, invest early and consistently investing is often presented as exciting. People talk about finding the next company that will increase 100 times in value. They show dramatic charts, luxury cars, expensive watches, and screenshots of profitable trades. But successful long-term investing is usually much more boring. It involves consistency, patience, diversification, emotional control, and time. That is exactly why many people fail. They want immediate excitement. Wealth usually requires delayed gratification. Starting early gives you an advantage because your investments have more time to potentially grow. But starting early does not mean you need a large amount of money. It means you begin building the habit as soon as possible. Suppose one person begins investing a modest amount every month at age 20. Another person waits until age 35. The second person may eventually invest much more each month, but the first person has 15 additional years of contributions and potential growth. Time matters because investment returns can begin producing additional returns. But this is where unrealistic expectations can become dangerous. Investments do not grow at a fixed rate every year. Markets rise and fall. Companies fail. Economic conditions change. Past performance does not guarantee future results. That is why diversification and a long-term perspective are important. The objective is not to predict every market movement. The objective is to own productive assets over time while managing risk. Before investing aggressively, create a basic financial foundation. Pay attention to high-interest debt. Build an emergency reserve. Understand your monthly expenses. Make sure you can handle unexpected costs without immediately selling investments or borrowing expensive money. An emergency fund may not feel exciting, but it protects your long-term plan. Without a reserve, one medical bill, car repair, job loss, or family emergency can force you to liquidate investments at the worst possible moment. Financial stability is not separate from investing. It supports investing. Once your foundation is stronger, automate the process when possible. Set a specific amount or percentage to be invested every time you receive income. Do not wait until the end of the month to see what remains. For many people, nothing remains. Treat investing like a mandatory expense. Pay your future self before spending on optional upgrades. The amount can increase as your income increases. This is important because some people start investing but never raise their contribution. They receive promotions, business profits, or freelance income, yet every increase is absorbed by lifestyle inflation. A larger apartment. A more expensive car. more subscriptions, more restaurants, more travel, more monthly payments. Their income rises, but their investment rate remains almost unchanged. Instead, create a rule. Every time your income increases, direct part of that increase toward investments. You can still improve your quality of life. The goal is not to live miserably. The goal is to prevent every financial improvement from becoming a permanent expense. Now let us discuss risk. Young investors sometimes believe that being young means they should take unlimited risks. That is a misunderstanding. Being young may give you more time to recover from mistakes, but it does not make bad decisions intelligent. There is a difference between calculated risk and reckless speculation. Investing in your skills, building a business, or purchasing diversified productive assets can involve calculated risk. Borrowing money to chase a rapidly rising asset because strangers online promised easy wealth may be reckless. Never invest in something you do not understand simply because other people appear to be making money. Ask basic questions. What exactly am I buying? How does it produce value? What could cause it to lose value? How easily can I sell it? What fees am I paying? How much could I realistically lose? Is the person recommending it benefiting financially from my decision? What happens if the investment falls 50%? If a decline would cause you to panic and sell immediately, you may be taking more risk than you can emotionally or financially tolerate. Emotional control is one of the most underrated investment skills. During periods of rapid growth, people become overconfident. They believe prices will continue rising forever. During declines, fear takes control. People sell after losses and return only after prices recover. That cycle can destroy returns. A written investment plan can help. Decide in advance what you will buy, how often you will invest, how you will diversify, and under what circumstances you will make changes. Do not redesign your entire strategy because of one exciting headline. And do not confuse activity with intelligence. Constantly buying and selling can feel productive, but more activity does not automatically create better results. Sometimes the strongest move is continuing to follow a well-designed plan. The purpose of investing is not entertainment. It is ownership. You are gradually purchasing assets that may increase in value or produce income. But here is the part many aspiring millionaires ignore. You will probably not reach $1 million quickly by investing tiny amounts from a low income. Investing is powerful, but the combination is even stronger. Increase your income. Build a business. Keep your expenses under control. Then invest the difference. A 20% return on $1,000 is $200. A 10% return on $100,000 is $10,000. The rate of return matters, but so does the amount of capital you can consistently invest. This is why income generation and investing should work together. Your career or business creates cash flow. Your investment system converts part of that cash flow into long-term ownership. The fourth way will determine how much of that cash flow you actually keep. Hashtag way number 4, avoid lifestyle inflation and destructive debt. You can earn $100,000 per year and still be financially fragile. You can earn $200,000 per year and still live from one payment to the next. Income is what enters your financial life. Wealth is what remains and becomes productive. The difference between the two is often behavior. Imagine receiving your first major salary increase. For years, you have wanted a better car. You qualify for financing. The monthly payment appears affordable. Then you choose a more expensive apartment because it feels more appropriate for your new income. You upgrade your phone. You add subscriptions. You purchase better furniture. You begin eating at more expensive restaurants. None of these decisions appears catastrophic by itself. But together they create a new financial reality. Your income increased by $2,000 per month, but your fixed expenses increased by $1,800. You feel more successful, but you only gain $200 of additional financial capacity. This is lifestyle inflation. Your lifestyle expands every time your income grows, preventing you from building meaningful assets. The solution is not to reject every enjoyable purchase. Money should improve your life. The solution is intentional spending. Spend generously on what genuinely matters to you. Reduce spending on things you purchase only for status, comparison, boredom, or temporary validation. A person who loves travel may choose to live in a modest apartment. A person who values a comfortable home may drive an older vehicle. A person building a business may delay luxury purchases to invest in equipment, marketing, or employees. The point is not to follow one universal budget. The point is to make choices instead of automatically copying the lifestyle of people around you. Social comparison is expensive. You see someone your age driving a luxury car, but you do not see the loan. You see someone traveling, but you do not see the credit card balance. You see a beautiful apartment, designer clothes, and expensive dinners, but you do not know whether the person owns investments or has an emergency fund. Never build your financial life around appearances. A millionaire can look ordinary. A person in serious debt can look wealthy. Focus on the balance sheet, not the photograph. Debt also deserves careful attention. Not all debt functions in the same way. Debt used responsibly to acquire a productive asset or build a profitable business is different from high-interest debt used for consumption. But even productive debt creates risk. A property can lose value. A business can fail. Income can decline. Interest rates can change. Never assume debt is safe simply because someone calls it good debt. Understand the obligation. Understand the worst-case scenario. Keep a margin of safety. Consumer debt becomes especially dangerous when it finances things that quickly lose value. You are left making payments for something that is worth less every month. The payment also reduces your ability to invest. This creates an opportunity cost. A $500 monthly payment is not only $6,000 per year. It is also $6,000 that cannot be used to build a business, purchase investments, develop skills, or create a reserve. Over several years, the lost opportunity can be significant. Here is a useful question to ask before taking on a major expense: will this purchase increase my freedom or reduce it? Some purchases create value, save time, improve health, or increase earning ability. Others create a temporary emotional reward followed by years of payments. Give yourself time before making large purchases. Avoid deciding under pressure. Calculate the full cost, not just the monthly payment. Include insurance, maintenance, taxes, financing, subscriptions, and replacement costs. A low monthly payment can hide an expensive commitment. But this section is not only about spending less. Extreme frugality has limits. You cannot save your way to extraordinary wealth if your income never grows. Saving $10 matters, but learning how to earn an additional $1,000 can have a much greater impact. The ideal strategy combines both. Protect the downside by controlling expenses. Increase the upside by developing skills, creating value, and owning assets. That combination gives you financial speed. And now we arrive at the fifth way. This is the method that can make every previous strategy more powerful. Hashtag way number 5, use leverage, reputation, and strategic relationships. You can accomplish a great deal alone. But it is extremely difficult to build significant wealth without leverage. Leverage means using tools, systems, people, capital, media, or technology to increase the impact of your effort. Without leverage, 1 hour of work produces approximately 1 hour of output. With leverage, 1 hour can create something that continues producing value long after the work is finished. Consider a teacher in a classroom. They can teach 30 students at one time. Now imagine the same teacher records a high-quality course. The course can potentially teach hundreds or thousands of students. The initial work may be greater, but the result is no longer limited to one room. That is media leverage. Software provides another form of leverage. A developer can create a tool once and distribute it to many users. A business can automate repetitive processes. A creator can publish a video that continues attracting attention for years. An author can write a book once and sell many copies. An entrepreneur can design a system that employees or contractors operate. An investor can use capital to purchase ownership in productive assets. The wealthy often combine several types of leverage. They may have specialized knowledge, a trusted reputation, an audience, a team, technology, and invested capital. The question is not only, how hard can I work? The better question is, how can my work continue producing results without requiring the same effort every time? This is where reputation becomes extremely valuable. Your reputation is the collection of expectations people have about you. Do you deliver what you promise? Do you meet deadlines? Do you communicate clearly? Do you admit mistakes? Do you treat people fairly? Do you produce high-quality work? Can people trust you with important responsibilities? A strong reputation can create opportunities that never appear on job websites. Clients recommend you. Employers promote you. Partners invite you into projects. Investors listen to you. Talented people become willing to work with you. Customers become more comfortable purchasing from you. Trust reduces friction. But reputation takes time to build and seconds to damage. Do not sacrifice long-term credibility for short-term money. Do not exaggerate results. Do not promise what you cannot deliver. Do not disappear when something goes wrong. People do not expect perfection. They do remember how you respond to problems. If you make a mistake, communicate quickly. Take responsibility. Present a solution. Learn from it. Reliability is rare enough to become a competitive advantage. Strategic relationships are equally important, but networking is often misunderstood. Networking is not collecting hundreds of contacts and asking strangers for favors. Real networking is the process of creating genuine professional relationships by being useful, curious, reliable, and respectful. Start by learning about other people. Ask what they are building. Understand their challenges. Share relevant information. Introduce people who could benefit from knowing each other. Offer help when you can provide it honestly. Relationships become stronger through repeated positive interactions. Do not contact someone only when you need money, a job, or an introduction. Stay connected. Celebrate their progress. Share opportunities. Provide feedback. Recommend their work when appropriate. Over time, a network becomes an information system. People tell you about jobs, clients, investments, partnerships, and trends before those opportunities become widely available. They can also protect you from expensive mistakes. A conversation with an experienced person may save you months of confusion. Mentors can be valuable, but do not begin by asking a successful stranger to become your mentor. That is a large and vague request. Ask a specific, thoughtful question. Show that you have already done some work. Apply the advice. Then report what happened. A mentoring relationship often develops naturally from repeated evidence that you are serious. You should also build relationships with people at your level. Your future business partner may not be a famous entrepreneur today. They may be another ambitious person learning beside you. Your peer group matters because behavior is contagious. If everyone around you spends every paycheck, mocks ambition, avoids responsibility, and expects failure, building a different life becomes more difficult. You do not need to abandon every old friend. But you should intentionally spend time with people who value growth, discipline, honesty, creativity, and long-term thinking. Now add the final layer, visibility. Being excellent is important. Being excellent and discoverable can be even more powerful. Publish your work. Share what you are learning. Create case studies. Write articles. Make videos. Speak at events. Participate in professional communities. Build a portfolio people can find. You do not need millions of followers. A small audience of the right people can transform your career or business. One valuable client may discover a case study. One employer may see your project. One partner may hear your explanation of an industry problem. One investor may notice the progress of your company. Opportunity often begins with evidence. Do not simply say you are talented. Show the work. Do not say you understand marketing. Share an analysis. Do not say you can design. Display the designs. Do not say you can code. Build a useful tool. Do not say your business produces results. Document a real customer outcome with permission. Your online presence should become a library of proof. This creates a powerful combination. Skill makes you valuable. A business allows you to capture more of the value you create. Investing converts income into long-term assets. Financial discipline prevents your progress from disappearing. Leverage, reputation, and relationships multiply the opportunities available to you. Now let us turn these 5 methods into a practical roadmap. Hashtag the Millionaire Before 30 Roadmap. Suppose you are 20 years old and starting with very little money. Your first phase should focus on learning and financial stability. Choose a valuable skill. Study it consistently. Practice on real projects. Avoid expensive debt. Create a basic emergency reserve. Find employment, freelance work, or small paid projects that allow you to improve. Your goal is to become useful. During this phase, do not obsess over appearing successful. You are building the foundation. An athlete does not begin by entering the championship. They begin with training. Between ages 22 and 25, focus on increasing income and creating evidence of results. Negotiate better compensation when your value increases. Change roles when necessary. Take responsible freelance work. Build a portfolio. Develop a professional reputation. Begin investing consistently, even if the amount is modest. Experiment with a small business idea connected to your skill. Do not quit stable income prematurely. Test demand first. Find out whether customers will actually pay. During this phase, your objective is not perfection. It is momentum. Between ages 25 and 28, begin focusing more aggressively on ownership and scalability. Your skill should now produce stronger income. Your business may be gaining customers. You may be able to create systems, hire assistants, launch a product, or serve a larger market. Continue investing. Increase your contribution as your income grows. Avoid allowing every success to become a new monthly expense. This is also the stage when partnerships can become valuable. But choose partners carefully. Do not enter business relationships simply because someone is your friend. Discuss responsibilities, ownership, decision-making, compensation, expectations, and what happens if one person wants to leave. Clear agreements protect relationships. From 28 to 30, the objective is to strengthen and protect what you have built. Reduce unnecessary risk. Diversify your assets. Improve your business systems. Protect your reputation. Review insurance, taxes, contracts, and legal responsibilities with qualified professionals where necessary. Do not assume that rapid growth will continue forever. Create resilience. A business generating strong revenue but depending on one client is fragile. An investor holding only one speculative asset is fragile. A professional with one employer, no savings, and no alternative skills is fragile. A millionaire-level net worth built on unstable foundations can disappear. Durable wealth requires structure. But what if you are already 25, 28, or older? The principles still apply. The deadline is less important than the direction. Becoming a millionaire at 32 is not failure. Becoming financially secure at 40 is not failure. The title of this video creates urgency, but your life is not a competition against strangers. The real objective is freedom. Freedom to leave a harmful job. Freedom to help your family. Freedom to handle emergencies. Freedom to choose meaningful work. Freedom to control more of your time. Do not destroy your health, relationships, or integrity trying to reach a number before a birthday. Money is a tool. It should support a good life, not replace one. At the same time, do not use patience as an excuse for inaction. A decade is long enough to produce an extraordinary transformation. 10 years of focused skill development can change your career. 10 years of investing can build meaningful assets. 10 years of business growth can create a valuable company. 10 years of disciplined decisions can separate you from people who earn more but own nothing. The years will pass either way. The question is what you will own, know, and be capable of doing when they are gone. Here is your first move. Choose one high-income skill and commit to practicing it for the next 90 days. Not 5 skills. 1. Create a project that demonstrates your ability. Show it publicly or send it directly to people who might need that result. Earn your first dollar from the skill. Then earn the next one. At the same time, track where your money goes. Create a basic emergency reserve. Eliminate destructive debt as aggressively as your situation allows. Begin investing consistently after building a stable foundation. Look for a simple problem that could become a business. Talk to potential customers before spending months building a product nobody requested. Document your work. Build your reputation. Create relationships by providing value. Search for leverage. Ask yourself whether the work you do today can continue producing value tomorrow. A video can keep attracting viewers. A product can keep generating sales. Software can keep serving customers. A system can keep operating. An investment can remain productive. A reputation can keep opening doors. The millionaire journey is not one dramatic decision. It is hundreds of ordinary decisions moving in the same direction. Learning instead of scrolling. Investing instead of impressing. Building instead of only consuming. Owning instead of only renting your time. Thinking in years instead of weekends. And here is the final truth. You do not need to become a completely different person overnight. You need to become slightly more disciplined, slightly more valuable, and slightly more intentional every month. Those improvements may appear small. But small improvements, repeated for years, can create results that look impossible to someone who only sees the ending. So which of these 5 paths will you begin with? Will you develop a high-income skill? Build a scalable business? Invest consistently? Control lifestyle inflation? Or use leverage and strategic relationships to multiply your results? Write the number in the comments and explain the first action you are taking. Then continue with the next video, where we break down how to choose a profitable skill, practice it quickly, and find your first paying customer without needing years of experience. Your first million may feel far away. But the decision that begins the journey can happen today.